What is up, everybody? How is it going? Hope everyone's doing all right today. We are live from Baker, Montana, tracking a nasty looking squall line, and I think that's probably about all it's going to be. But we are tracking this squall line that is severe warned. It is packing a punch. What is up, Amanda? Grifter, how's it going? Derek, welcome in. What's up, guys? We're back in Montana with another storm here. And this is actually the same spot we were in yesterday. So yesterday we chased near Baker, Montana, and we're sitting on the outskirts of Baker right now watching this squall line roll in. And today's chase, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have a nice squall line with some nice structure. This is pretty good structure. I think that it could get even better. I think that this structure could get better. I kind of anticipate it to maybe get a little bit better, but you never know. And I anticipate it to get a little bit better here on this structure. And the tornado threat is essentially zero. And the reason why the tornado threat is essentially zero is because these storms are very outflow dominant. So since these storms are outflow dominant, they're pushing a lot of outflow out to ahead of them. They're pushing a lot of outflow out ahead of them, and they're not really sucking in much inflow. You don't even see that many inflow. I don't even see an inflow tail on this storm. There might be a couple on the north side of the squall line, so you might have a little bit of embedded rotation in there. But look at how blue it is in there. Just you got those dark blues in there. It's very blue in there. I guess you could say turquoise as well. You got a little bit of turquoise mixed in. And I really think if we can get some more scud, if we can get some scud right here on the front side of this thing, so if we can get some low-level clouds, some scud, I think this structure could be very, very good. But we're not expecting really much of a tornado risk. I guess the tornado risk isn't zero. It's certainly not high at all, and it's not. But it's also certainly not zero. Look at that structure over there on the north side of the storm. Look at that thing rolling over the plains of Montana. So, chat, we're in Baker, Montana. So I'm sorry that I don't have my location and everything on the stream right now. So if anybody asks, just say, yeah, he's in Baker, Montana. We have great service here at Baker. We're going to have great connection here. My worry is once we get outside of Baker, our connection's going to get iffy. And the problem is we're going to have to run from the storm. So this storm is going to be chasing us. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to drive for 2 or 3 miles. We're going to lose sight of the storm, and then we're going to turn back around and be able to see the storm again. And then guess what? The storm's going to catch us again. So guess what? We're going to have to drive a couple more miles, and then we turn around again and we get another view. So it's just going to be a constant game of cat and mouse. So this storm is going to be chasing us, and we're going to be running away from it. But right now that structure is pretty nice there. Look at that on the northern edge of this line. Look at that structure. That's not too bad. There's the house for comparison there. But this is a nice line. Nice line. I don't know how big the hail is. To be honest with you guys, I really don't want to find out either, because I guess you could say my windows have been broken for a while. You can see up here. Here, I'll show you guys up here. I'll zoom out. Look at that zoom out picture. Like, I got a crack up there. I got more cracks over here. So they're on the top of the windows, which is nice. It doesn't interfere too much with the view of these storms. The wind is really ripping. Maybe we should just let the storm. I'd love to intercept the storm right here in Baker, but I I'd love to do that. Tornado on the ground in Saskatchewan. Yeah, I kind of wish I was in Saskatchewan maybe on that sucker. Your cousin lives in Bozeman. Bozeman, I believe, is all the way on the western side. We're like as far east as we can get. We're actually probably going to be in North Dakota for part of this setup. But what's up, Linda? How's it going? Hey, it's Willow. What's up, tornado? Yeah, Joel says, yeah, tornado on the ground in Saskatchewan. We actually got a little supercell that's popping up to my east that I actually just kind of want to keep an eye on that thing. But here's our problem, guys. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at here on this radar. So there's our storms right there. So here's our big line that we're looking at right here. And then we got a supercell developing right here. We're going to want to watch that supercell for maybe, if there's any tornado potential, it'd be in that supercell right there. But here, you can literally, I'll show you guys, literally right here, there are 0 roads. There's no roads right here. So we're going to have to be really diligent about what kind of roads we take. Because there's literally 0 roads there. But we got some time here. We got some time to figure this out, but there's literally no roads there. Literally no roads on that, in that zone, kind of by the North Dakota. I believe that would be more by the North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana intersection. There's literally nothing. So that obviously makes things really tough because one, there's a couple of ranch roads there, but I believe there's a river that goes right through that area. So good luck, good luck finding anything in that river. Or good luck finding any roads that go over the river. And then 2, even if I can find a road, what are the odds that I keep service? I mean, you got to think about the cell service aspect of it, and the odds that you keep service in those areas are low. So I'm going to stay on the main highway today. I'm just going to have to stay on the main highway today. That's what we're going to have to do. And that's okay. I mean, it's better than not chasing, because I'd rather stay on the main highway than try to take a ranch road or end up stuck in the mud or, who knows, pop a tire. I mean, I've seen it all. It's happened before. But let's zoom in a little bit. There, look at that. I don't know how good YouTube picks up saturation colors, but look at that. You can see the squall line extends all the way back down. I do want to watch that supercell that's developing out to our east. I do think we should watch that. Because you never know, it's possible this storm could nudge it, but that storm with the tornado in Canada, that's very interesting, because I was looking up on the radar of that Canada storm, and it doesn't look like the kind of storm that would produce a tornado. It doesn't look like the kind of storm that would produce a tornado, so. But we got some nice structure here. That storm near Saskatoon is teeny tiny. My buddy Jay, I think, is on that one. I think my buddy Jay is on that one. Dude, no. Oh my gosh. So Those Nebraska storms had me a little bit worried today because I kind of looked down in Nebraska and I was like, man, maybe I'd rather be in Nebraska. But there we go. Now our shelf cloud's starting to cook, and we can take this all the way through Baker. We can go through Baker and watch this. Maybe we should back up here and let's get ready to run here, because I want to stay far enough out ahead of this thing to where we can be able to see this. So we have a highway east of Baker that goes to Bowman, Montana, and that's the highway that we're going to end up taking. But see, look, you can see that those scud clouds are starting to get going there, so you're getting a little bit better structure now. I'm gonna get out and take a quick pano. Guys, this is a nice storm. Let me show you my pano I was able to take. That'll give you a sense of the full thing. We got other people out here watching the storm. I wonder if they're local storm spotters here. I wonder how many tornadoes the storm spotters in this area have seen. Probably not too many, I would presume, but here's your storm, and here's your pano of the storm, guys. Look at that sucker right there. Look at that. That's awesome. Look at that storm. That's an awesome one. I'm gonna make a quick post here to Twitter. Wow, look at this structure. Okay, now we're starting to cook a little bit, and now I gotta go. Get to my other road here. Woo! Some nice structure there. All right, for a minute, guys, we're gonna lose it. And I'm just gonna give you guys a fair warning. If service gets bad, there's not a ton I can do. Where's my road? Where's my road? Where's my road? All right, we're about to get engulfed by the whale's mouth here, guys. You can see some tail clouds now on that north side. We're about to get engulfed by the whale's mouth. Okay, my road's up here. So here's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to get all the way back ahead of this thing, and then we're gonna have to we're gonna lose a view of the storm, guys. We're gonna have to lose a view of the storm for a few minutes, because we have to reposition. I'd love to see what this thing has, hail and wind wise. I'd love to just park under one of these gas stations, but actually we're getting the wind right here, so you guys can see the wind coming. I like to get a little bit of action, but I don't want to get that hail though. I don't want to get the hail though. You can see the wind whipping here. Look at these trees right here. It's just whipping. But here we're going through the town of Baker, Montana. And we're gonna be going east on our highway out of Baker. We actually have another supercell in front of us, but I think this line will be the main show here. I think this line will be our main show. Let's get onto this road here. Highway something. Oh, we got people out here walking around. Run! Oh, they're running. Oh, here comes the rain. Oh, they're running. They're running now. Oh, They're running now. The speed limit on the Montana highways should be about 70 miles an hour, so we'll have no issues. We'll have no issues staying out ahead of these things unless they start to just really they're not going to be moving that quick. So some of these we might have to. I might end up staying in Baker tonight. I have no idea if I'm gonna. I have no idea if I'm gonna car camp or if I'm just gonna get a cheap place, but I might try to stay. I might try to come back to Baker when the chase is done. We'll have to see. Here we the speed limit's 25 through here, but we gotta go here. We don't want to get engulfed by this thing, and I don't think ping pong ball sized hail would get the windows broken, but if it's wind driven at 60, 70, yeah, then you're getting a little bit dicey there. All right, so we got to get out ahead of this thing here, guys, and then once we get out ahead of this sucker, the Montana motel, I might stay there. Doesn't look too sketchy. Oh gosh, okay, we got cars in front of me. Hopefully they know to drive quickly and not very slow. This guy. Here, we got our oil drill right there. All right, here we go, chat. We gotta go. We got a need for speed. Oh, there's a Dollar Tree in the Family Dollar. I'm sure that's the popular place in town there. Oh, the storm's gaining on us. We can't let this happen. We can't get behind the storm. We got to get out ahead of this. Hopefully we don't lose service. We will lose service at one point, but hopefully it's not too bad here. But you guys saw how quickly that storm engulfed us there. That storm engulfed us very, very quickly. And just like the snap of fingers, like that. We were out ahead of it, and then it really took over there. So I think the structure on this sucker could get even better as we get into North Dakota. I should have put North Dakota on the stream as well, but this stream, I know the stream says Montana. Maybe it says, I don't know, the stream might say Monster Montana Storm, or Major Montana Storm. I think that's what it was. But no, guys, these storms are extremely outflow dominant. So you're not talking tornadoes on these suckers, but you're talking damaging wind as the main threat, and possibly hail up to 2 inches. It would not shock me at all if there's 2-inch hail just to our south. Wouldn't shock me at all if there's 2-inch hail. And I guess you could say there's a non-zero tornado risk, especially if one of these storms is able to become more supercellular and actually pull in a little bit of inflow. If that happens, there's a non-zero tornado risk, but I would say it's very, very low. It's very, very low, which is about what I expected. So the next 2 days, I don't exactly know where I'm going to chase, but I'm kind of leaning towards just staying up here in Montana. Why not? I'm already up here. I might as well stay up here. So, and that's the direction I'm kind of leaning in, and we'll just have to see where we're at. We'll just have to see what the models look like tonight and so on. We're finally getting out ahead of this storm now. definitely getting out ahead of this thing. So, oh, apparently there's a rain-wrapped tornado near Valentine, Nebraska. A weak one, and nothing that I would be very, very upset about. Missing. Looking at our storm behind us, it's definitely becoming more. It's definitely becoming more rain wrapped, guys. Give me like just a few more miles to really get out ahead of this thing. I want to get out ahead of this thing so we can sit there and watch it for a little bit. I don't want to get out ahead of it for 2 or 3 miles and then 5 minutes later have to move again. I want to be able to get out ahead of it and just let the stream sit there for 15-20 minutes before it gets closer again, and then we do the same thing. But the good news is our roads are very our roads are pretty straight, and we have dude, I wonder why I'm getting so much rain out ahead of this storm. It's crazy how much rain we're getting out ahead of this thing. That's not good for our storm structure. I'm going to stream as long as the storm looks good. If the storm just starts to suck, then obviously, at that point I'll not stream anymore. But as long as the storm looks solid, keep going here. This storm's going to be solid. Guys, I'm going to find a road here in a couple miles and stop so I'm going to spin back around so we can get a view of this thing. We're going to be going through some interesting terrain, so I have good service right now, so I might actually get on the next road here and just take what I have while we have good service, and then hope that we don't lose it down the line. I've never driven on this road, so I have no idea how good or bad the service is. Just judging by the area, I'm assuming that it's not great, so. Judging by the area that we're in, I'm just gonna assume that our service isn't great. There's our squall line now. So you can see this thing kind of sucks now. What the heck? What happened? It looked so good. It looked so good 10 minutes ago. Now it's just kind of blah. Look at it. This is kind of gross now. What the heck happened? Guys, what happened to our beautiful squall? Look at this thing. Okay, this is what it looked like literally 15 minutes ago. That's what it looked like 15 minutes ago. And now, what is this? This is kind of gross right here. This is kind of gross right here. What happened to our storm? No. It weakened. We might have to consider getting on the storms to the south if this one just doesn't look cool. But where am I at, guys? I'm near Baker, Montana. Sorry about there's no location on there. Marianne, how's it going? How's it going, Naomi? Dallas Epperson. Dallas Epperson is my top fan, apparently, my number one. Guys, make sure to like the stream. We're almost to 100 likes on the stream here. Stay safe. I know you like to get close. Well, Debbie, today's a day where I kind of just sit back and enjoy the show. Today's the kind of day where it's not really worth it to get close to the storm because, well, there's not really much of a tornado risk. So I should probably just sit back and just enjoy the show here. That is probably what I should be doing, and that's what I'm going to do today. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Well, I do wonder if I really kind of need to be south. it makes me wonder if I need to be south of this storm to be able to get a better look at it. We're in a big radar hole. I wonder if the south has a little bit better structure. Because look, dude, our structure's gone, guys. Like we had a great, look at this. We had a great organized monster supercell squall line there. That's literally our view 15 minutes ago there. And now it's just like, dude, what happened to our storm here? What happened to our storm, guys? What the heck? So I'm trying to figure out what to do. Oh, I wonder if I need to go all the way to Bowman and then go south. Maybe I just give up on the chase, too. Maybe I just give up on the chase. No, I don't think that's necessary to give up on the chase. See, this is tough because now the structure's... Like I said, I'll stream as long as the storm doesn't suck, but... No, I'm not going to give up on things yet. Yeah, let's just drive into it on this dirt road. How about... That sounds like a fun thing to do. I'm getting really close. I have my camera and at the wide angle, and I'm getting really close. Because this is what it looks like with the wide angle. So it looked crazy over Baker, and then it just... There's our super... Wait, that's our other supercell right there. You can see it right in front of me. That's the other supercell. Right there, that cloud in front of me, that's the other supercell that has clearly struggled to get its act together here. But this storm, unfortunately for us, this storm just really lost its identity, so I don't really know what to expect now. I don't really know what to do or what to expect right now. Like, this thing kind of just lost its identity there, so. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck, man? I thought we were gonna have a great storm that was gonna cook for us, but we still could. Here's my thing. Here's my thing, chat. So, from my experience, I don't know if we have service here or not, but from my experience, when a storm looks really good, and then all of a sudden it kind of just starts to nosedive like that, most of the time, it doesn't ever come back, because there's a reason why the storm really started to weaken. Like, there's a reason why. Well, now it's pulling in a bunch of inflow, but... Like, there's always a reason why the storm weakens. So, usually the factor that causes the storm to weaken doesn't change. So, if the storm is weakening because of one thing or another thing, well, usually it stays the same. But now we got inflow. This thing is sucking in some inflow now, so it makes me wonder if it's going to rotate a little bit. But I wonder if it just has too much outflow and rain. Sometimes when storms get too wet, they have trouble. Producing any kind of tornadic activity. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit better to my south, at least. It's starting to look a little bit better to my south, so that's good. The problem is this road is mainly an east road. This is mainly an east road, and the storm is kind of moving southeast. So if the better part of the storm is to the south, and our road is mainly east, very slightly southeast, but mainly east, then it's going to be tough to keep up with the better part of the storm there. It looks a little bit better to my south now, but still struggling compared to what we were seeing earlier. And welcome to North Dakota. Oh, there goes our speed limit. It goes down a little bit. But welcome to North Dakota. This is probably the 10th time I've been in North Dakota this year, I'm sure. I've seen a lot of good tornadoes in North Dakota as well. Seen my fair share. Actually, this year was the first time I ever even went to North Dakota, and it was everything I anticipated, and even better. I love North Dakota. I think if I had to choose between North and South Dakota, I think there's like the pluses and the minuses, but I think I'd probably lean South Dakota just because I think that the Black Hills and the Badlands are pretty cool. So I'd maybe lean south. Although South Dakota has some sketchy spots, and but I'm sure I'd lean South Dakota just because of the Badlands and what am I thinking of? The Black Hills. Yeah, the Black Hills is. I mean that area is just gorgeous. I drove through the Black Hills yesterday for the first time ever, and I was quite impressed with the scenery there. We got a lot of rain in front of us. We might have to core punch this. We might have to core punch this rain right here. Our service is doing all right here. It's much better on this side of Baker than on the other side of Baker. It's not too hot if you go north or south of Baker, but looking at our storm now, I have to use looking through the mirror. It looks better, guys. So just give me about 2 more minutes, and then I'll turn back around and we'll get a view of it. I have 4 bars of service right here, so I might just go ahead and, while I have the full bars here, I might go ahead and just spin the car around now, because you never know. We're going into some sketchy terrain here. We're actually getting close to a town up here, so I don't see why we'd lose service before this town, but you also never know. We got some hills and some scenery, so maybe we can get some nice shots there with that scenery. I don't know where the chase will be tomorrow, guys. If I had to guess, it could be like Jamestown, North Dakota. It could be, and maybe could even be South Dakota, like Pierre. It could be Montana again. It could be. It could be like Buffalo, South Dakota. I'm not really sure where we're gonna be. But, oh, I just missed my road. Well, let's hope I keep my service here. There's actually some pretty cool terrain. I think we're going up in elevation right now, very slightly. Okay, that's a pretty cool rock right there. Let's try to pull off up here. Let's see if I can get a nice view of this thing. Hopefully, when I turn the car around, my service isn't cooked. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's not a bad view right there at all. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. But you can definitely tell, guys, the storm is definitely getting a lot stronger to its south side than the north side. So eventually, we're gonna have to get all the way east, and then. Oh, there's actually a house right. There's actually a house right here. I think this is a driveway. But okay, we're gonna have a cool view of it right here for like probably 5 minutes, and then we're gonna have to run from it again. But this is a sick. I'll take this view any day. This is a sick view right here. But you can definitely see it's definitely the storm is definitely underwhelming compared to what we did have, but it's still kind of cool. It's not totally cooked. It's not totally cooked. I wonder how those rocks just look like that. Like they have these little like crevices and holes in them. They're kind of cool. Look at this. See these little holes in the look at all these little holes. Look at it. It's just a big there's just a big hole right there in the middle of this. Like, I wonder how that gets. I wonder like how the hole is there. I don't know. Maybe that's just how they were formed, or. We got about an hour of daylight left, so we're pretty good on daylight for a little bit. Dude, I'd love to see a tornado just right there, just right next to this rock. That'd be awesome. They can happen up here, but not too often. But I think we're gonna have to go all the way. I think we're gonna have to go all the way east on this highway, because look at the north side of the storm. Like, if you just look at the north side of the storm here, it's just not that, you can see it. It's just not that impressive. The south side of the storm is better. And I honestly wonder if the storm is even better to the south of this. Or it could not be, but we're gonna have to probably go all the way east to Bauman. But you know what? We might be able to stop before Bauman. We'll just have to see. But we'll sit here for 3 or 4 more minutes, chat. We'll sit here for a few more minutes, and then the hard thing for me is, like, I don't know where exactly I'm gonna be tomorrow, so that definitely complicates things, because I can actually get pretty cheap lodging up in Glenview or Glendive, Montana, and I'm sure some of those motels in Baker that we pass through aren't that expensive. But once you get into South Dakota, for whatever reason, South Dakota, North Dakota, the lodging there is just outrageously expensive. So that makes things tough. So I might just do some car camping tonight, and then, because I also don't know where I don't want to drive all the way. See, if I end up in North Dakota, I don't want to drive, a couple hours back up into Montana and then have to drive, and then all of a sudden, the chase now looks like it's in. See, then if I drive to Montana, then all of a sudden the chase tomorrow will be in like the Dakotas, and then I'm kind of then I kind of wasted some gas. So that's also not what you want to do as well. So it does make things complex. So yeah, I don't know what tomorrow brings. I mean, my gut kind of tells me Montana again tomorrow. I don't know, it's something that we're going to have to look into a little bit more, I guess. After the stream, we'll look into it a little bit more. There we go. Look at that. I'm gonna run in a couple minutes so I don't get stuck in the core. I'm not too worried about hail right now, to be honest with you guys. I'm not too worried about the hail, chat. Maybe it could be ping pongs. That's what the warning says. The warning says ping pongs. Do I actually think that it's ping pongs? Probably not. It probably isn't ping pongs. Probably more like quarters. While I have service here, I just kind of wanted to stay here as long as possible. What's up, G. Tyler? How's it going? Think Right. How's it going? Beeble. Dallas says, I miss you. Ben Dallas, I miss you, buddy. I can't wait to get back home and sit around the fire pit and hang out, man. I don't know when I'm going to be back home. That's another thing. I just have no idea, guys. Yeah, this storm is kind of sucking right now, but it's okay. I think that Montana and North Dakota are awesome, and I just love the scenery here. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the play is maybe tomorrow I go car camp or something along I-94 somewhere, and then tomorrow maybe I like go to the Teddy Roosevelt National Park and hang around for a little bit, but I'm not sure. I was in Glendive, Montana. I don't know if you guys know where Glendive, Montana is. It's kind of a for the area it's in, it's actually a pretty big, I'd call it a city. Now there's only like 7,000 or 8,000 people there, so you're probably like, what do you mean it's a city? Well, I mean, for this part of the world, I mean, you don't have very many people living out here, so 7,000 or 8,000 people in one area, that's a lot, because most of these towns don't have even close to that. So we're gonna have to watch for deer. Deer like to live in these canyons right here, so we're gonna have to watch very carefully here. They like to live in these canyons, so we gotta watch for the deer. And it's also dusk, and these storms make it feel like nighttime, so I bet they're coming out right now. Yesterday I was kind of hanging around Freddie and Eli when they were chasing, and I think we probably saw about 30 deer in one field, like literally all together. A pack of 30 deer were just, I mean, I've never seen so many deer together. It had to have been at least a couple dozen, maybe 30, maybe 35. I mean, it was a ton. Here's a little, I wouldn't call this a town. It seems more like a, well, no, this is a town. I guess if the speed limit's going to drop to 25, this is definitely a town here. Marmouth? Say Marmouth like 500 times. Say Marmouth 5 times. That'd be pretty difficult. There's a little, yeah, this is a little town right here. A little North Dakota town here. Yeah, I think Main Street here has seen, I think Main Street has seen better days. I'd say about 2 out of the 10 buildings on Main Street are actually still functioning. The other 8 or 9 buildings here are, I don't think they're functioning anymore. And I think half of these houses are also abandoned. And that house over there, they only have 3 RVs in their backyard, and this house over here only has 2 RVs. Well, sorry, 1 RV and a bus. 2 RVs and a van. 2 RVs, a van, and a bus, and an old car. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's an interesting little town right there. Here's the Little Missouri. It's a nice little scenic spot here. We're only 27. So if we want to go south onto the storm, we're about 27 miles away from our south route. So yeah, I mean, we could do it. I think we'll probably go all the way to Bowman, South Dakota. We'll probably go to Bowman, South Dakota. Is that a T-Rex? Look at that T-Rex right there. Oh my gosh. Look at that there's dinosaur, man. Could you imagine? I don't know if that's like a life-size representation of how big a T-Rex actually would be. But could you imagine like living in a world where like you're just out there like hunting and gathering? You're hunting for your food. I don't know, maybe you're hunting like a woolly mammoth in the Ice Age, and then you just see it. Well, no, that's a bad analogy because I don't think T-Rexes were around whenever woolly mammoths were. Although who knows? I don't know. I'm one to believe that the world is probably not millions and millions of years old. I think the world is probably a lot younger than that, but I guess who really knows for 100? I guess there's no way to prove it, but But I don't know, maybe you had, I don't know, I don't think you had woolly mammoths running around with T-Rexes, but just say you're out there trying to get some food and then you just come across a T-Rex. I mean, I don't even know what you would do. Maybe if you like, maybe if you could like trip the T-Rex, it doesn't have any arms, it would just topple over and never be able to get back up. That's crazy. I wonder if a T-Rex fell over. I wonder how a T-Rex would even get back up, or if it even could. All right, we're driving into a storm here, chat. So it's gonna get rainy, it's gonna get loud, it's gonna get messy, but erosion, yeah. Just tuned in. Where are we, Catherine? We're in far western North Dakota. So we're just to the east of Baker, We're probably east of Baker, Montana by about 20 miles, maybe. We just entered into North Dakota. Just entered into North Dakota, what, 10 minutes ago? Or about 10 miles ago. So, oh, the storm in front of me is strengthening, and it looks like it's got some hail on it. So, we're about to find out how big it is. Better not be big, because I don't want to get caught in that. I don't feel like getting caught in a hail core that's gonna bust up any windows. Now, if it's not gonna bust any windows, I could care less. But we're gonna get into some rough conditions here, so we're gonna have to slow down for sure. We got this truck up here. I think that's a dirt bike. Is that a dirt bike in the back? In the pickup? Oh yeah, that's a dirt. Oh my gosh, that's like a dirt bike back there. Okay, that guy is. I wonder if there's any like dirt bike trails around here in these canyons. I'm honestly shocked. I'm pleasantly shocked and surprised that we have service in this area. I really am pleasantly surprised that we have service here. Oh my gosh, Montana tomorrow might be juiced up for Montana standards. It's absolutely juiced. So is South Dakota. I wonder if stuff is going to fire down there or not tomorrow in South Dakota. We'll have to see. All right, we're about to find out how bad these roads are for hydroplaning, because I have no idea. I'm going to take a guess and say the hail in this thing isn't too big, but you also just never know, so it could be massive. It's not severe warned, which I would say based off radar, that hail is pretty decent size, but we might go just to the south of the core. I'm not really sure. The problem is we really don't have a radar. Like this is one of the only spots in the plains where you just simply don't have a radar to even look at things. So it does make it tough. If the hail looks like it's gonna get big, guys, I will probably just abort. I will just abort. But if I had to guess based off how kind of foggy and like grungy all these storms are, probably not too. I guess you never know. I've seen grungy storms put out some big old hail, so we're about to find out. Oh, here we go. We got some windmills here. Nice. I don't know if I've ever seen windmills in Montana. I've been through most of the northern half of Montana, and I don't know if I've ever seen windmills up there. Oh my gosh, it's getting really windy now. We're getting some major wind here. We're headed right into the belly of the beast here. Right into the belly of the beast. That's one of my favorite sayings. If you ever tune into the channel, you know I like to say belly of the beast. But what's crazy is we have to use the Bismarck radar. That's like, we're so far from radar that we have to use the Bismarck one. That guy had his hazards on, so if that guy has his hazards on, I'm sure it's a rough time up here. So we'll see. Could be a rough time up here. No hail yet. Okay, we're getting some like keys. Okay, now we're getting some keys here. Whoa, it's getting really windy now. I guess that guy's windshield was good, so maybe we'll be alright. Not really sure. Woo! Oh my gosh. This storm is surprisingly intense. Oh my gosh. I'm shocked with how intense this thing is. Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. I just was not expecting this. But yeah, this is a very intense storm. Here's the hail. Alright, chat. I don't know if I'm going to keep going or not. I'm not trying to... The hail isn't very big, but I have about 50 mile an hour winds crossways, so I don't know. Should we try it? Oh my gosh. This wind is absolutely insane. I think the hail on this sucker just got big. It might not even be worth it, chat. It literally might just not be worth it. Oh my gosh, it's really windy here. That hail is hitting my side window, so the problem is I don't really... Here's the thing, guys. I don't want to get into the storm and then have 2-inch hail start falling out of nowhere, and then it breaks my side window. It breaks my side window because it's flying 70 miles an hour into the car. Oh my gosh. This storm is somehow getting more intense. I don't know how. We got purples right there, so probably not a smart idea. You don't want to get into the purples, guys. It's not good. We got purples right on our interstate. You don't want to get into that. Usually an indication that you got some pretty big stuff falling. So, okay. Yeah, they just severe warned it for like I don't know. They just severe warned it for like golf balls, so probably not a great idea. 70-mile-an-hour wind and golf balls, probably not the ideal thing to go for. That storm strengthened out of nowhere. I'm not gonna lie, it just strengthened out of nowhere. That storm was weakening, and then it just kind of out of nowhere, it just blows up right on top of the interstate. I guess we could have tried to beat it, but yeah, that thing's probably got pretty big hail. Let's see here. Let me pull off and show you guys something. So we're out of it now, but let me show you guys something here. It's probably got massive. Guys, I'm not blowing my windshield out for a shelf cloud, but those whites mean business. See, this storm doesn't have as big of hail down to the south, but the main threat today was hail and wind. So this wind is just ripping here. It is ripping. Goodness, why is it so? I don't know why it's so windy. You know, people will sometimes call me a wuss. I get called a wuss for not liking hail. But, dude, I'm not. I don't know, guys. I just don't love hail. When there's not a tornado, like if there's going to be a tornado on the storm, I would have 100% blasted through whatever hail. But the problem is, guys, it's just like, what's up, everybody? Oh, should I go to the Dinosaur and Fossil Museum in Glendive? I passed that like 3 times in the last 2 days. I passed that museum. What's up, Justin, Danny, Ryan, Tammy, Sea Rain? How's it going, everybody? Jake, what's up, man? Catherine, aren't tornadoes rare in Montana? Catherine said in the chat, yeah, they're pretty rare. You usually don't see tornadoes in Montana. And I was talking about this with Freddie yesterday. And me and Freddie we're kind of talking about, we're like, okay, so why don't tornadoes ever happen in Montana? And we kind of came to the conclusion that Montana is lower in elevation. So the elevation in Montana is a little bit lower than, say, Wyoming and Colorado and New Mexico and Texas. So what happens is, since the elevation's lower, you need more moisture. So sometimes in Colorado, you can get it done with dew points in the 50s. Colorado, you can get it done with dew points in the 50s. Montana, if your dew points are in the 50s, you're probably not going to get tornadoes because eastern Montana is probably 2,000 to 3,000 feet of elevation, whereas eastern Montana, you got 2,000 or 3,000 feet of elevation, whereas if you go to Colorado, you start getting 4,000 feet. Even far western Kansas, you get up into the 3,000s. Even west of Lubbock, Texas, you start getting up above the Cap Rock. You get close as well. Look at this! Look at this shelf cloud. This is what's left of our storm earlier. I gave that guy a couple of flashes with the headlights to let him know there's a nasty storm up there. I think we might. You know what, chat? I want to see how big the hail was, so we might end up going back around on that road. And if there wasn't very big hail, then I'm probably gonna feel like kind of an idiot, but it's okay. And the problem is here, we just don't have other road. Like, that's our road. Like, we just don't have other roads that we can really take. So it does make it tough. but it's not easy. You hear that thunder rolling there. There's our sun. Look at that. The Montana sun. Oh wait, where'd it go? Oh, it's not focusing with all the raindrops, but that's what's left of the storm. Guys, to be honest with you, I don't feel like I'm looking back at the storm that I decided to not drive through, and it's very blue and turquoise color, which usually is a telltale sign that you have big hail in there. Sometimes it's not big hail, sometimes it's just a lot of little tiny hail, but I would venture to say you probably have some pretty good sized hail in there, just looking at the environment that we have in place down here. It's more of a hail environment. Your photographs are very flat. It's more of a hail environment than a tornado one. Tomorrow, I'm hoping wherever we end up could be more of a tornado environment, but we shall see. We shall see how it goes. I'm kind of just taking a look at tomorrow, and it kind of looks like the same type of thing down in especially down in like Nebraska, South Dakota. It looks like the same type of deal. I wonder if southern North Dakota, southeast North Dakota will be the hot spot. If you can get a storm to fire out there. Yeah, I mean, North Dakota, you have a warm nose, which means that your temperature, a warm nose, your temperatures, look at these windmills right here. They're getting assembled. Look at that. See how they're not completed? You can see you can literally see the windmill turbines on the ground right there. They're going to get assembled. But you have a warm nose, which worries me about storm initiation. Is when you get those warm noses in the atmosphere, what happens is your storms will kind of try to go up, but they can never break through the cap. So that means you have warm air about 3 to 4 miles up in the atmosphere, and that's gonna prohibit your storms from firing there. You get that really warm air up there in the atmosphere. I'm gonna spin back around here. We're gonna look at our other storm that we were looking at. It's just tough, guys, with the roads out here, man. It's just so hard with these roads, guys. It's just hard. Oh my gosh. Look at the deep blue color. I don't know how well you guys can see this on the, look at that deep blue color. I don't know how well you can see it on the YouTube feed, but wow. That is, I can up the exposure a little bit there back to where it was. But that is, you got some blues there. You also have a good environment tomorrow up in northern Nebraska as well. Up there in Nebraska, you have another good environment also, but might be capped again. So that's going to be your struggle the next few days, is that cap, that pesky cap can certainly be a problem. Look at that blue. Look at that blue color there, guys. Just look at that blue color. I don't want to drive into that. If I don't have to drive into that thing, I'm not driving into it. I know it's probably good for the stream. It's some, even if I broke my window, I'm sure that'd be great content for the stream. But I don't have the money to be buying. I don't have the money to be buying an $800 windshield right now. So, and that's probably how much it would be. So I'm probably gonna skip. I'm gonna probably skip out on breaking the windows tonight. But look at that grungy, just garbage is what I'd call it. What's up, guys? Did I get rated? Who rated me? Sigma Ben, Sigma Ben, Sigma Ben, Sigma Ben. Sorry, guys, I didn't check chat for 10 minutes. Oh, Freddy raid, okay. Sorry, guys. I didn't see that. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. The storm that I was trying to get to, I can't get to it because of this storm right here. What's up, Randy, Sheila, Wyatt? How's it going? Flat Circle. How's it going, Aaron, Sean? And we got some heavy rain now. It's hard to hear. Josh, how's it going? Guys, we had a great storm earlier, but it's kind of garbage. This was our storm earlier today. Look at that thing. That was earlier today near Baker, Montana. That's what we had on the stream, but our storm has since not done much else, and we're totally stuck here. I don't want to get my windshield blown out by tennis balls, so I'm not going through this storm to get just to get my windows blown out. It's just not worth it for a squall line. I'm not gonna lie. If there's a tornado on the ground, I probably would try, but it's just not worth it for a squall line. And I just to be honest with you guys, I don't have any roads. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to stop chasing soon because I just don't have the road network to be able to keep up with any of these storms. The road network just doesn't exist. It's not out here in Montana. We're probably, what, 20, 30 miles to the east of Baker, Montana. The road network out here is just not existent. So it makes things very difficult trying to chase in this area of the country. We still got some nice storms chugging along here. I wonder if the move here is to go behind the storms and try to get like a crazy sunset. Well, I don't know how achievable that's going to be tonight, but these storms are going to be cooking for the next hour, and then eventually they're going to lose steam here. But welcome in, everybody. I know you guys aren't coming in on the best part, but Thomas says they need rain in California. I thought at one point I feel like California either gets absolutely pummeled with rain or it gets no rain at all. I feel like there's no in-betweens. And no, Montana doesn't really get tornadoes. Montana doesn't really get tornado. Guys, I'm not sorry. I don't want to spend like $800 to replace a windshield for a squall line. It's just not I mean, it just really isn't worth it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the money. It's just not worth it. So I'm just gonna not do that today. But there's our sunset behind this. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm gonna figure out what to do. I don't know if I'm gonna stay at a cheap motel or car camp, or I don't really know where I'm gonna chase tomorrow. It's kind of a wild card right now. So, well, Lince, I think that you're boring. So, how about that? Sarah, how's it going? What's up, guys? Freddie, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. You can see, actually, my window's already kind of cracked up here, so at some point I'm going to finish those windows off. I don't know when, but I'd like to not do it today. I'd like to save it for a good storm or a tornado or something, but I'm not going to drag the stream out too much longer, but I'll stay here. I'll stay here until I figure out what I'm going to do for tomorrow. So maybe, you know what, maybe while we sit here, maybe I can look at tomorrow and see what the game plan could be. I don't know. It's tough. Maybe I just go back up to Glendive, where I was last night, and then figure it out from Glendive. Maybe I go to Baker. That could work as well. Either way, that puts me in a good spot, regardless, to position for tomorrow. If we look at the Triple R tomorrow, I'll show you guys this HRRR, the HER model. Some people call it the HER model, but it's kind of messy. It's just kind of messy here. You got HRRR fires some big supercells here in South Dakota. These would be mostly just hail and wind with a low-end tornado threat. You also have some supercells that try to fire out here in South Dakota. You have some back here in Montana as well. But I don't know how much I believe this. Your environment in Montana kind of gets washed out. You also have a dry line. You have a dry line down here in South Dakota that could put off some storms, and so I'm not really sure. Look at this little mini supercell structure we got going on right there in front of us. You see a little tail cloud pulling in some inflow there on the northern side of that little cell. Whoa. Yeah, the hail on this storm is 2-inch hail, and there was definitely about 60, 70 mile an hour winds in there. We did get into those 60, 70 mile an hour winds earlier, but let's see here. Apparently there's a tornado near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan today. I think maybe a good spot would just go to Baker maybe, and then try to go to Baker. That guy's moving. We got some kind of storm going up right here. Right in front of us. We got a little storm trying to go up. So we're near Baker, Montana right now. What? You're having a convo at what? Freddy's something. Man, Lince is a big troll. I don't know where all my moderators went, guys. I used to have like a couple moderators in the streams, and then now it's like I don't know where they went. They're just like not here. Like they're gone. Like the moderators are just gone. I don't know where they went. I got my passport. I actually chased in Saskatchewan twice this year. And one of the days I saw a tornado. The other day it was very close to seeing a tornado, but just couldn't quite get it done. But it was very close. The second time I went to Saskatchewan. Did I die for a second? Did I lose service here for a second? The service has actually been shockingly solid here in this area. Yeah, we got a little storm trying to form right here. The tornado threat is about nil. It's about 0, so. Gosh, that storm got really, really intense. I wonder if the hail kind of went down in it. Yeah, it looks like the hail kind of died off. So guys, you know what? The hail kind of died off in that thing, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go for it again. Let's hope the hail died off, because like I said, guys, I'm not in a position to replace my windshield, so. This storm is gonna be nasty, so we'll get some excitement here. I really hope I actually hold service. I actually have no idea if I'm gonna be able to hold it or not up here, so we'll see. We'll see if I can hold it or not. But it might take a while to get out ahead of this storm too, as well. I may go up to Dickinson, North Dakota for the night, maybe. I'll have to figure that out after the chase, but because I guess if I'm over in Dickinson, if I have to go back to Montana, I can get there pretty fast, and then if I have to go over towards the eastern side of North Dakota or down in South Dakota, I could also get there pretty quick too, so that might be a good spot there. You can see up here, you can see the rain. It's very grungy. I think there's probably some good structure out ahead of these storms. The question is if we're going to be able to even punch through these storms. They're pretty thick here, so I'm not sure on that one. But for a while here, I'm not going to be able to look at chat. So if you send me anything or have any questions or say something, I might not see it here as I drive through this mess. But whoa! That truck really gave us a nice little car wash there. Yesterday, and I guess a lot of you guys might have watched Freddie's stream yesterday, but man, me and Freddie really got into the mud yesterday on some of those roads out there west of Glendive. That got pretty sketchy there for a minute, so over in that area. It got a little bit sketchy on those roads. There's a couple times I almost either got stuck in the mud or completely went off-road, which would have not been good because there's nothing out there really. So you would have been stuck, and the rain was coming through, so you probably would have been stuck a while. Here comes the wind. It's really ripping now from my left side here. We're gonna try to punch through this thing. Maybe we'll see some remnants of some of that bigger hail. It was up to possibly lime size, maybe even bigger than limes. But see, when I went through this, when I started to get into the storm, I was getting probably 60, 70 mile an hour wind, and I'm like, I don't know if I want lime-sized hail and 70 mile an hour wind hitting the side of my car. I don't have protective glasses. That's probably not a smart idea, but no protective glasses for me. sun's going to go down in about 20 minutes, so if we want to get a view of this thing, we got to get out ahead of it now. We're going to be going through some valleys and some little hilly areas, so if we do lose service, I wouldn't be shocked here once we go through some of this terrain. So if we lose service, just stick with me. I'll try to get it back as quick as I can. But what is this up here? Is this a gas station, or what do we got here? Maybe a gas station. We're in a rain. Here's a small little town here. We're only 13 miles from Bauman. That's not bad. 13 miles here till Bauman. That's not too bad. We'll take that. Shoot, I don't know if we're ever going to get ahead of this one. We'll try, though. I think we could. It's going to be tough. Guys, the hydroplaning on this road is really bad, so I'm not going to be able to go as fast as I'd want to. I don't know if I'm ever going to catch this thing, but we'll try. Try to catch it here. I'm not sure, though. Nice lightning strike there. Nice lightning strike there. Yeah, getting out ahead of this sucker is going to be tough. Man, I don't know if we could. We got to get to Reader. Reader? Yeah, Reader. We might try to get to Reader. This guy's moving. Yeah, I don't know, guys. We're about half an hour from Reader, and then with these conditions, with these conditions, it's going to take even longer to get over there. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I don't know if we're going to be able to get there. we might have to catch the storm in Bowman. But I don't know. I think we could do it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get to Reader because I want to go east regardless. I kind of want to drift a little bit east. I kind of want to midpoint the two targets. So if there's a target to the east tomorrow, I kind of want to. And then there's another target in Montana. I kind of want to midpoint the two, get in between. Okay, there's some hailstones on the ground. I see some hail on the ground, and this hail probably fell 20 or 30 minutes ago, and I think I see some quarters, so that means there probably really was close to 2-inch hail in this thing. I guarantee it. We're gonna probably get some more hail on this sucker, so especially as we get into Bowman. Oh, that hail core's getting bigger again here. Of course, Bowman, it's getting bigger. Nice lining there. Yeah, okay, we got observed 2-inch hail here, so I don't know, guys. Like I said, I'm not in the business of buying a new windshield right now. I'd like to wait on that until maybe the fall. Now, if I bust it earlier, I bust it earlier. But got some big lightning here too. No goggles. No, I don't have goggles. I used to have goggles in my old car, but I honestly just forgot to move them to my new one, which is kind of dumb. I know, it's kind of dumb. But I might have sunglasses. You know, I might have sunglasses somewhere in here, so that I maybe could use some of those too. No, guys, I'm not gonna. I know the interesting thing for the stream is to obviously punch the core. I mean, that's obviously the most interesting thing to do, but you know, I'd rather not if I don't have to. But see, I started to get back into the core because the hail was getting smaller, but now it looks like it's getting big again, so we'll see, guys. For now, I'm good. I mean, the hail isn't that big right now, so right now I feel pretty good here. If the hail, now the problem is we're not even close to the main spot on reflectivity, so if we're already getting some hail right here, I imagine it's much, much bigger to our east, so. My windshield is also already a little bit compromised, so that wouldn't be fun. There's some crazy rotation in the mid levels of the storm. I don't know if that's ever going to translate down to the low levels, and I don't really think this is the kind of storm that can produce tornadoes, but there's some crazy rotation in the mid levels of this thing. This is a very powerful supercell. It's kind of it's mostly just a squall line with an embedded area. Supercell. right, guys, the precipitation is going to get heavier. The hail could get bigger. I'm not sure. As we get into Bowman, we have a bookend vortex kind of developing here too as well. But on the road back here, you had at least 1 inch hail on the ground, and that had been getting melted by the rain and had fallen about half an hour ago. So I think you definitely had that. Actually, you had observed 2 inch hail on this storm. You definitely had that lime-sized hail there. Here we go. Now we're getting into some heavier stuff right here. When I get to Bowman, I'm going to decide if it's worth it to keep going or not here. I'm not sure. If not, then I might just go up to Dickinson maybe for the night. So I'm talking about Bowman, North Dakota. Bowman, North Dakota. We're just to the east of Baker, Montana, and we're just to the north of Buffalo, South Dakota. So we're kind of near the South Dakota. Whoa! That was a bright lightning strike right there. My goodness. That one couldn't have been far. That couldn't have been that far away. It's also starting to get dark, so I don't know how much longer I want to chase into the dark. To be honest with you guys, a lot of the models look vastly different, so that's the thing. The models look so different for tomorrow. It's like, which one do you believe? And I would say probably none of them are right. I'd say you probably just have to wait for the overnight stuff to happen, and then you can kind of figure it out from there. I think it's what you do. But here we're headed into Bowman now. We're now headed into Bowman here. At least on the south side of Bowman. I don't know if we'll go right through or not. We got a police car up here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder what's going on right here with this police car. I want to be cautious because I hope they're like not blocking the road or anything. Huh, I wonder what that cop car is doing there. There's another one over there to the right. Huh, that's interesting. Well, there's two police cars sitting right here, and I don't have any idea why. All right, chat. I'm gonna be brutally honest here. So I'm gonna be brutally honest here. I think we're gonna have to call the chase soon. Now I may stay live. I don't know. I may, if chat is gonna be active enough, I might stay live and talk to you guys while I drive to where I'm gonna be for the night. But let's give the wipers a little bit of a break there. There you go. Look at that view. You got the American. Ooh, I don't like that glare right there on the street. That's not a good glare right there. But okay, so here's the thing. Whoa, there he goes. There he goes. And there's another one down there too. So I don't know what's going on, but we got the sheriff. Dude, he's driving quick too. That sheriff. He's going somewhere. But so here's the thing. It's dark. It's dark, and two, yes, I could eventually probably catch the storm and get out ahead of the storm, but the problem is it's gonna take me an hour to do that. So, and it's already dark. So I think the play for now is to probably call it a night. We're still gonna have some nice lightning here on the backside of the storm. If I drive up there, look at all this light. Look at all that lightning on the backside of the storm. You can get some nice like anvil crawlers there as well. There's still a tornado warning up in Kent. Actually, no, those don't expire for 5 hours. That's why there's still one up there. But looking at tomorrow, if I really had to guess, I'd say I'd probably want to go sit on the dry line to the east. But I also think there's a chance I'd want to get back into Montana maybe as well. That's a big strike right there. Goodness. The environment in Montana is just juiced. I mean, it is really juiced, the environment up there. So that's very interesting, but I don't know if there's going to be any storms to take advantage of the environment. That's the problem. So chat, let me know. Do you guys want me to stay on the live and interact with you guys for a while, or Connor raid, Papa John and Connor raid? Okay, Ben, I got it rated. What's up, guys? No, I'm near Bowman. I'm near Bowman, North Dakota. So okay, I got. Shout out to Connor and Papa John. Papa McKinney. Shout out to both of them. How long ago was I rated, guys? How long? I'm sorry I wasn't checking chat there. I was trying to drive through all this weather. But almost 500 likes now. I appreciate it, everyone. Okay, I'll probably, since I got rated, I'll probably stay on the stream here, and we can enjoy the thunder, the lightning, and some of the rain while I drive to where I'm going to go for the night. So I'm looking at tomorrow, and I'm not really sure. It's possible there's not a chase tomorrow. That's always a possibility. There's the cop car again. You can see the cop car way in the distance there. He's coming back this way with his light. What is happening? I've seen that cop car now 1, 2, 3 times now. Now he's coming back the other direction with his lights. I wonder what's going on. So that's very interesting. This guy what is he doing? There he is again. Oh, is he pulling this guy over? Wait, no. What is I don't know what's going on with this cop here. He's been driving around with his lights flashing for. I wonder what's going on. I wonder if something's going on. Yeah, so to be honest, tomorrow is one of those days where you just wake up in the morning and then you figure it out. So I think I'm probably gonna I think I'm probably going to go up towards Dickinson. It's not too far. It's probably 45 minutes, maybe a little longer. But give me just a second, chat. Hold on. It'll be a perfect night to car camp here. With the rain, and it's cooled down to 60 degrees now, so. It'll be a perfect night to sleep in the car here. Yeah, but Montana's going to be juiced up tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of moisture and a lot of cape over there. I'm just not sure storms ever take advantage of that environment. There's also going to be maybe an outflow boundary, and there might be a dry line, outflow bound. Like there's just, tomorrow's one of those days where it's going to be very complex until the morning of the event. So let's see how far Dickinson is. Dickinson's not too far. But yeah, guys, I'm just not catching that storm there, so. Dickinson's only like an hour away, so that's not bad at all. I'm actually gonna quickly see here. I could go back. I also could go back to Baker too. I could go back to Baker as well. Maybe I go back to Baker. I gotta figure this out. Could go back to Baker, Montana. Ooh, good lightning there. We're going to get some really good lightning on the backside of the storm. It's turning into a big bookend vortex. I'll show you guys this here. You can see it on the radar. We call this a bookend vortex. You can see. Look at how this see this storm right here. Look at how this arcs. You can see the C shape. Look at that arc. There's that C shape. It's pushing out and it's moving this way. And the C shape is pushing out, but then you have a vortex on the back side right here. So you have winds coming in on this side, and then you have winds coming in here, and it's like, call it a bookend vortex. It's starting to form one of these. So I wonder, this big line of convection, a lot of the models didn't have this much convection here. So this is all gonna, here's our map. This is all gonna track, you know, southeast here towards Mobridge and Cannonball, and it's all going to track southeast, eventually Aberdeen and Watertown, and the question is, how long is it going to maintain itself? But depending on what this does, it will affect tomorrow's setup. And then you got all these storms down in Nebraska. They had a tornado watch out for Nebraska again today, which I actually, they had a tornado watch in Nebraska yesterday, and I was a little bit puzzled. I was a little bit puzzled with the tornado watch in Nebraska. Was a little bit puzzled there yesterday. Today, I thought it kind of made sense. I think a tornado watch over there today, I think that made a lot of sense. See, now we're getting a lot of wind on this backside on this booking vortex. Let's see how. All right, guys, give me 5 minutes, chat. I'm trying to make a decision on where to go here for tomorrow. I guess it doesn't make a big difference. I don't want to drive all the way north to, the only thing is I don't want to drive all the way north to Dickinson and then have to end up in, like, South Dakota or back down south in Montana tomorrow. But you know what? There's really, to be honest, there's really no way of knowing, so. There's really no way of knowing. Let's see, I wonder what the NAM says tomorrow. The NAM says there's not really a chase. Interesting. So yeah, there's a possibility tomorrow it's just not a storm chase as well. I hope that's not the case. I'd love to get a storm chase in tomorrow, but there's also a chance Tuesday is not a storm chase. There's a chance Wednesday is not a storm chase, or there's a chance all of them are storm chases. So it's really unknown. So here at about, I'm going to give myself until 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I'll figure out what to do. I guess I'm in mountain time, I think. I believe I'm in mountain time here. I'm used to Central Time, so I guess where I would usually be right now, it's 10 o'clock, but I'm used to the Central Time. So I think this area up here, I think western side of North Dakota. I think the western side of North Dakota into Montana, eastern side of Montana. I do think they're in a little bit of a drought right now. So this rain is beneficial. It is beneficial rainfall here. Bowman's in Mountain Standard Time. Take your time, no rush. I appreciate that. What's up, Roadster Jim? How's it going? Connor Johnson's in here. Mary, how's it going? Tim, what's up, man? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to go in the middle. I do like the Dakotas. I've done a lot of traveling in the Dakotas this year because, to be honest with you guys, I've been chasing since 2020. 2020, 2021, 2022, I'd kind of chase, in my region. Every now and again, I'd go really far away, but not too often. 2023 and 2024 is when I really started to actually travel to chase more than... Before that, I really wouldn't go farther than 7 hours away from home, or I think maybe the farthest I went was 8 before that, and now I'll go a little farther, but there hasn't ever been good storm setups in the Dakotas until the last year. This last year, there's been some good setups up in the Dakotas, and I will say I love it up here. The lodging, like hotels and motels and stuff like that, is just outrageously expensive up in the Dakotas. It's a lot cheaper in the southern plains. In Oklahoma, I'd find these like little mom and pop places for like $45 a night. up here, those kind of same places are like 100, you know, so. Woo! Woo, there we go. Okay, that one shook the car just a little bit. There. Yeah, so here I'm gonna. Oh, I said I'd decide by now. Okay, so I'm going to. I'm gonna try to go to Baker here. Let me see some. I'm gonna see something here. I think Baker will be a good spot. If I can. I think I'm going to go to Baker. I think that'll be a good spot. And that's not too far away. It can't be more than 40 minutes. Oh, dude, it's 47 to Baker. Wait, Baker's 47. Let's see. And then how far is Dickinson if I want to go to Dickinson instead? Let's see, Dickinson is hour 13, so that's another 20 minutes. Let's go to. Maybe I could just stay in this town. Maybe I just do this town. Is there a motel in this town that I could check out and see how much it is? There's a Super 8 here. I bet the Super 8 here is probably like $100. So I probably won't want to do that. No, I'd probably will. I'm probably going to go to Dickinson, guys. I think I'll go to Dickinson. Because then if I need to go to Montana, I can quickly get onto the interstate. And go west to Glendive towards Montana. If I want to go to South Dakota, I just go due south. I just go to Bismarck and then due south. And then if it ends up being somewhere in towards Jamestown, if it ends up being like towards Jamestown or somewhere east of Bismarck, then I just hop on 94 tomorrow and just go straight there. So I think also Dickinson's a little bit more populated. So if I want tomorrow morning, I can like go to Walmart or stuff like that. So Dickinson is a little bit more population. Maybe I'll pick up some food and do some cooking out of the back of the car. So I don't know. I'd love to go before the chase tomorrow. It'll depend on what time it is and how far away from it I am. But I'd love to go hiking tomorrow. So if I go up to Dickinson, I might check out the. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to the Teddy Roosevelt National Park. I've driven through it, but I've never actually went down and hiked there. So I think that'd be pretty cool. I might do that. There's another state. I went to a state park today by Glendive. There's a state park. It's like Cap Rock something. So yeah, Montana also has a Cap Rock. When you think Cap Rock, you think Texas or New Mexico, but Montana has a Cap Rock as well. There's the sun. You can see the sun coming out over there. Look at that. The sun is still up here. Or the sun is down, but you still have some light, technically. good lightning right there. Guys, whenever I get onto the main highway and the rain kind of calms down a little bit, I'll look at some chat, but I'm gonna focus on driving here, especially since it's kind of that time of day where it's not like pitch dark. Well, actually, it probably is pitch dark at this point, but hopefully the roads aren't too bad and we don't hydroplane at all. It's not a fun time to hydroplane, that's for sure. There's yeah, we're 75 miles from the Teddy Roosevelt National Park. You can see, look at that sunlight. It's hanging on. Like, right, there's some nice little plateaus to my left. Some cool terrain out here in the Dakotas. I'd love to get a shot of just the sun setting right there. It's just a big bolt just right through the middle of the shot there. Looks like on our way up to Dickinson, we're gonna get some decently moderate rain, but it won't be anything. It won't be anything too heavy, so that's good. It's not gonna be anything too heavy. But okay, yeah, it won't be too bad. It won't be too bad. So I'm probably just gonna, honestly, I'm probably just gonna chill on the stream for the next at least 45 minutes. I guess if I'm gonna do 45 minutes, I might as well. What just happened to the stream? What the heck? Why did we just lose? Why did we just lose our focus? That is weird. Ah, that's very interesting. I don't know why we just lost our focus there, but seems like we got it back a little bit here. You know, of course I don't want damage. Did I ever say I wanted, wait, what? I don't want damage. This storm isn't going to do much damage. It really won't. It really won't. Let's see if we can get some cool stratoform lightning here. And the stratoform, they call it stratoform lightning because it's in the stratoform rain. Change in lighting? Yeah, the change in lighting could be why the blur happened. I don't know for sure. But let's see, we're almost at 500 likes. I really appreciate it, everybody. We got a little over 800 or 900 people in here, so I'd love to know. Where everyone's watching from tonight. So where are you guys watching from? I'm sure we're probably spread out across the country. I'm just curious to know where everybody's tuned in from tonight. And once again, I just want to say thank you to Freddie and Connor and John McKinney giving me a raid. I really appreciate the raid. Oh, there's some nice lining right there. But I really appreciate the raid by those guys. Yesterday, we hung out with Freddie quite a bit yesterday. He came up here to Montana and chased, and stayed with Freddie and Eli last night in Glendive. We found a diner open at like 1 in the morning, and we were all starving. So we had some breakfast at 1 in the morning. And but I do like Montana. It's a fun place. All right, let's see where you guys are from here. I'm gonna go through the chat. We got a lot of chats here. We got some Michigans in here. We got Michigan, Lincoln, Nebraska. That's where I bought this car. Actually, the car that I'm driving right now, I bought in Lincoln, Nebraska, from a nice man named James at Pacific Auto. So if you ever need a car and you're near Lincoln and if you want a used car, go to James at Pacific Auto. He'll get you right there. That's an unpaid sponsor. Nebraska, okay, Northeast Nebraska, okay. We got Illinois, Great Falls, Montana, okay, Great Falls. There's a small chance that I'm chasing near Great Falls tomorrow. I'd say it's a small chance, but it's possible. I'm watching it over there. Little Rock, Arkansas, okay. Stockton, California, nice. We got some Nebraska, Oregon's another Chicago. Sioux City, Iowa, okay. I've driven through Sioux City probably a million times this year trying to go from, I live in southwest Missouri, so southwest Missouri trying to get up to the Dakotas, you got to go right through Sioux City. Nevada, Columbia Falls, Montana. Okay, we got some Montanas in here. We got Iowa. Dude, I don't understand. The focus got weird again. What is happening? Stupid thing. Oh, come on. I don't know what the phone is. I don't know what my phone is doing, but I think this isn't the best focus, but it's better than not being focused at all. So we'll leave it. Let's see. Sorry guys, let me adjust this. There we go. It's also the time of the day where you're not going to get good lighting, so it's going to be hard to focus. Wisconsin, Mississippi, Miles City, Montana. Okay, Miles City, you guys got some storms today and yesterday, I believe. And you're probably going to get tomorrow. Did the car already have damage? Yeah, when I got this car from James and Lincoln, it had damage on it previously. So that's actually why I got this one, is because my thinking is, okay, I'm gonna dent my car up with hailstones, and I'm gonna put my car through hell and back, out here storm chasing. So I might as well buy a car that's already damaged, right? If you buy the car, damaged already, hey, it's a little bit of a discount. The car that I got, I probably got it for $2,000 or $3,000 less, just because it was already damaged a bit. Is Freddie in the chat now? We got a wild Freddie McKinney in the chat. Okay. No, but these last couple days we've had some good supercell structure. I'd say obviously today we had that good supercell structure for about half an hour, and then it got pretty rough there. It got pretty rough, and we didn't have a road network to keep up, and I didn't really want to I didn't really want to core punch through 2-inch hail. Wind-driven 2-inch hail at probably 60 miles an hour didn't sound like worth it for a squall line. So I'm sure the structure though would have been great if we would have punched through that. But Seattle loves Joplin. What? Roadster Chat, what do you mean Seattle loves Joplin? From Tracy, California? What part of California is Tracy in? So we got South Carolina here, Macomb, Illinois. Okay, I see you. Central Texas. Heck yeah, the hill country. It's a terrible place to chase. Freddie also got his car from James at Pacific Auto. Yeah, he said he loves that guy. Bismarck, North Dakota. Okay. Rosebud, South Dakota. Wow. Okay, some of these towns I would not expect. Tim says, in Pakistan it's daytime. How is the sun possible on both sides of the earth? Well, Pakistan, Pakistan's on the other side of the earth. So that, yes, that the sun is possible on both sides of the earth, especially during the summer in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, Pakistan's up north of is Pakistan north of India? Northwest? Is it west? North? It'd be northwest of India, I think. So yeah, Pakistan. I could totally believe that the sun would be up in Pakistan. Yeah, that honestly makes sense. But we got some nice. I don't know how good the colors will show up on the feed, but we have some nice. We have some nice colors here. And we actually have some modest clouds. They're kind of hard to see there, but we got some modest clouds here. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I once again do appreciate Freddie and Connor and John for giving me a raid. It means a lot to me. Okay, there's some nice lightning right there. Nice. Santa Cruz. Someone say Santa Cruz, California. Is that by San Diego or LA? Is that where Santa Cruz is? I have no idea. Have I ever been to Macomb, Illinois? I feel like I have been to Macomb. I feel like I've probably briefly driven through, maybe. Elira, Ohio. I see you got that Ohio State profile picture. I'm not a big fan of that. not a fan of Ohio State. Don't worry, I'm not a Michigan fan, but not a fan of Ohio State. Anyway, the LSU Tigers are better anyway, so. Okay, Northern California. We gotta watch for deer. We gotta be very vigilant of deer because, one, it's dark outside, and this is the time they like to come out, kind of dusk. And then also we're going through some of these valleys, and anytime you have these valleys out here or these little canyons, you have a lot of trees and you obviously have some water. So that's where the deer like to reside there. I'd love to go deer hunting out here in North Dakota or Montana. Usually when I've been deer hunting, it's been in Oklahoma. But it'd be interesting to go. It'd be interesting to do to hunt elk. I feel like elk hunting in Montana would be, or Wyoming or something. Go Pig Red. Okay, we got a Nebraska fan in here. So my mom's side of the family is Nebraska fans because my mom's side of the family, they're all from Nebraska, so they all grew up in Nebraska, so they're all diehard Cornhusker fans, and they've had a rough time in football the last, ever since Nebraska fired Bo Pelini. I don't know how many of you guys keep up with football, but Nebraska, I feel like Bo Pelini was never going to win Nebraska a championship, but I feel like Nebraska as a program just isn't a championship program in the 21st century. And some people might not want to hear that, but it's just true. Like, Nebraska Nebraska was a powerhouse in the 90s and the very early 2000s, but I don't know if Nebraska can win a championship. Now I will say, now that you're able to pay players, schools like Nebraska can compete, because before you have all these recruits down in the Southeast or the East Coast, and they're like, why would I want to go to Nebraska, right? I could go to Georgia or Alabama or Ohio State or LSU or Texas or USC. They're like, why would I want to go to Nebraska? But now, since you can pay players, I think that Nebraska could maybe be more competitive. Maybe they could get all the mods are here. Dude, I need to get some more mods. I really do. I used to have some pretty reliable ones, but they just don't show up anymore. Shockingly, we've had perfect service on the whole stream. We've lost service on the stream for maybe like a minute. I've been very pleasantly surprised about the service here. Minor Bird just says venison. Okay, I love venison. It's good. Tom Osborne was a legendary coach. NIL made everything crazy. Yeah, I think it is a controversial topic, because on one hand you have the argument of, okay, these guys are student athletes, right? And then people will say, okay, the word student comes first. You're a student first, and then you're an athlete, and you're getting these scholarships at these very nice. You're getting your whole college paid for. You're getting, all these college athletes at the D1 level. At the other levels, it's a little different, but at least at the D1 level, they're all on, meal plans, and you get free room, and so obviously there's benefits to that. But then the other side of it is, okay, these college athletes are making millions of dollars for their school, millions and millions of dollars of revenue for their school. So the other side of it is like, okay, well these guys should get a piece of that pie, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think that you should get paid what you're worth. So if a college recruit is worth, a $4 million contract, hey, but here's the thing. I don't like how with college sports, you can just transfer. I feel like that's kind of wrong. I feel like you should be able to transfer maybe one time, and then the next time you transfer, I think you should get some kind of penalty for transferring. And then I also don't I feel like they should make these guys sign contracts to where, okay, we'll pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars, we'll pay you millions of dollars. The top guys, or maybe some of the quarterbacks or the edge rushers might be getting millions of dollars. They should be okay, we'll pay these guys millions of dollars, but you're obligated to stay here. You can't just come to Alabama for a year and then say, oh, I didn't start my freshman season, now I'm going to go to Florida. You can't do that. I feel like there has to be more structure to it. I'm all for players getting paid if there's structure behind it. So, but yeah, it has made everything crazy because there's no structure in place. You kind of it's just the wild, wild west. And I think that college football needs some structure behind it. So, Tim says he agrees. Yeah. Talking about milkshakes. I'm a big milkshake guy. I don't know how you couldn't like a milkshake. I guess if you're lactose intolerant, then it's okay. That's very fair. If you're lactose intolerant, I know some people that are a little bit lactose intolerant, but they'll still drink milkshakes just because they're so good. That's how good milkshakes are. But we still got a little bit of sunlight here in the distance. Even at it's now 9:30 Mountain Time. Actually, I might be in Central Time. I'm getting very close to Central Time, so it might be Central Time. You don't do sugar? Yeah, Jared, I'd be lying if I said I didn't do sugar, but I try to keep the sugar on a low because if we're being honest, processed sugar is probably one of the worst things that you could put into your body, especially in a liquid form. But you know, every now and again, I think it's okay. It's not. It's one of, you know. It's like, hey, in moderation, it's not going to kill you. You should live a little bit. But obviously, if you're drinking a bunch of sugar every day, that's probably not good. Central Time is further east. Isn't Bismarck would be Central Time, and I'm just coming up to Dickinson, so I can't be that far. I cannot be that far away from Central Time there. Riley has me live. Well, Riley, I apologize that I'm not on a good storm right now, man. Riley, I apologize I'm not on a good storm. We're just kind of driving through some lightning here on the backside of these storms, so those storms were moving a little bit too fast for me to catch back up. And obviously the road network here in this part of the country isn't ideal. And actually it's much better. It's much better up here, but where the storms were tracking, it wasn't great. So, but we have a little bit of lightning here, and that's that's about it for now. Speed limit drops all the way to 25 right here. Okay, we're getting down there. Let me see. I'll go with this. We'll do this right here. Going through a little. I don't know what town we're in right now, but we're just hanging out here on the stream, guys. I'm just gonna hang out with you guys until I get to where I'm going. The Slope County Courthouse. Okay, we're in Slope County. If this is the town where the courthouse is in, it must not be a very big county population-wise, which it makes sense. You know what? I'm just thankful we have service. I'm kind of just I'm a little surprised that we've had service this whole time. Surprised in a good way, of course. The sun is still, the sunlight is still peeking out here. We still got a little bit of sunlight peeking in here. That's how small town cops get you. Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that before, and it's not fun to get caught in a speed trap. You know what? I've been driving for 5.5 years, okay? I've been driving for 5.5 years, and I've gotten 2 speeding tickets. In 5.5 years, I've gotten 2 speeding tickets. I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe it's kind of in the middle. I'm sure a lot of people have gotten a lot more than that. I'm sure some people have never gotten a speeding ticket. But I've gotten 2 in about 5.5 years, and both speeding tickets were speed traps. So I've never got a speeding ticket just driving on the interstate or just driving on a highway like this. Both of my speeding tickets were speed traps in small towns like that, where, you know, it might have been like 2 in the morning. I might have been driving one time at 2 in the morning, and the speed limit was 65 or something, and I was probably going 70 in a 65, and then the speed limit drops to 55, and I'm you know, it's late at night, and I'm going 15 over, and they get me. Actually, we got a speeding ticket live on stream a few months back in Kansas. I was going a little bit too fast. Which sucks, because here's the thing, like, if I'm trying to catch up to a tornado, whoa, good strike right there. We're going to get some of these good lightning strikes here, which is part of the reason why I wanted to stay live. But if I'm trying to catch up to a tornado, I don't mind speeding to catch up to a tornado, because if I get a speeding ticket, I'm like, okay, at least I was trying to catch up to a tornado. Like, every storm chaser does it, you know, it is what it is. Every storm chaser does it. But when I got this last speeding ticket, I didn't even have to, I had no reason to be speeding. I was just accidentally speeding. I didn't even mean to. I didn't have a reason to be speeding. I just accidentally did it, which sucks. because now I get a speeding ticket, and I'm just like, gosh darn it, man. Like, the chase absolutely sucked. And then at the end of the chase, I got a speeding ticket, so it made the chase even worse. So, you know, but hey, ever since I got that speeding ticket 3 months ago, I've been very careful. I've noticed myself being a lot more careful about how fast I go. So it did work, I guess. Apparently it worked. I haven't been speeding as much. So speeding tickets do work. We're about 45 minutes still from Dickinson, so that storm, that bookend vortex that we're kind of talking about, that backward C shape, that bow echo bookend vortex, that's kind of calmed down now. It's weakened a lot. There's still a little bit of one near Hettinger, North Dakota, but it's weakened quite a bit now. So. Is definitely weakening. So we'll see how these storms perform tonight, and that's going to have obviously a major influence on what happens. Going to have a major influence on what happens tomorrow. And like I said, there's a shot that we don't even have a storm chase tomorrow. There's a chance. And like I said, it could be anywhere from eastern North Dakota to South Dakota to... I wouldn't rule out northern Nebraska. I think probably not, but I wouldn't rule it out. And even back into central... I could even see south central Montana. Maybe like Great Falls, Montana. Wait, or Billings. Billings or Great... I can't remember which city is on 94 in south central Montana. I can't remember. It might be Billings. Wait, or Billings might be further west. I can't remember. My Montana geography isn't perfect, but even though I'm gonna teach geography someday, possibly, I guess I need to brush over Montana. But one of those two cities, Billings or Great Falls. Ooh, good lighting there. But I guess I'll keep the stream running until we get to Dickinson. I mean, why not? I might as well. I guess if I'm gonna be driving, I might as well keep the stream going. Why not? I don't have anything better to do, so. And we got some storms still going on. So, but if you guys. Hold on, here I'm going to show you guys real quick the storm that we saw earlier. We saw a really cool storm earlier. I'm going to show you guys. We saw a really cool storm here on the stream. Chat, this is totally safe. I'm just driving in a straight line here, but there you go. That's our storm we saw earlier. Let me see if this will be better. That's what we saw earlier. That's a pretty nice storm right there. Look at that thing. That's a nice storm. So we got a very nice storm earlier near Baker, Montana. Baker's a nice little town with a couple thousand people. We had a nice storm roll into Baker. And then the storm structure, it really... what happened is the storm structure got really bad. Like, it just didn't look cool anymore. And then the storm kind of transitioned to the south, and then we got stuck. We had one road, but there's like a big hail core over the road, and I was just like, okay, like, I'm not, like, I just feel like it's not logical for me to blow out my windshield over a squall line or a shelf cloud, or you know, kind of a cool looking supercell structure. It's just not really worth it. If this storm had tornadoes on it, heck yeah, I would have blown right through that hail core and risked it. But cool pick. Now, yeah, that was near Baker, Montana. Beautiful CG. Heck yeah. If you guys ever hear storm chasers talk about CGs, that means cloud to ground lightning. You know what? Actually, my phone has me taking that route to my east, but I actually think that I'm going to take a different route north to avoid the rain here. I don't want to get. I'd rather drive dry than wet. So. These roads, it's not raining really right now, but these roads have a lot of water in it, so you can definitely tell that a few minutes ago it was raining pretty hard. Bro, turn off your brights, bro. Get those brights off. I cannot see a thing, buddy. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is whenever people like I think driving with your brights is fine, but when you're on a road like this where you're only a couple feet away from the car oncoming, I feel like having your brights on is a little bit disrespectful to other drivers out there. You know, if you're on an interstate and you maybe have like a grass median, that's like, if you have like a big grass median that's kind of like separating the lanes of traffic, then I feel like having your brights on isn't that bad. But I feel like when you're right here on a road like this, I feel like having your brights on, just, I don't know, it's not especially in the rain, it's hard to see in the rain. So, but you know, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes I will have brights on and I will forget. Like, I don't mean to flash other people with my brights, or flash isn't the right word. I don't mean to blind other people with my brights, but sometimes I just forget I have them on, and then someone flashes their brights at me, and then I'm like, oh shoot, my bad, and then I turn my brights off. So maybe that guy just kind of forgot though, but so that's a pet peeve of mine. But sometimes I do it by accident, so I do get it. We still have some sunlight here. It's almost 11 o'clock Central Time, and it's about 9:40 here. I think I'm on the edge of Mountain and Central. I think I'm in Mountain, but I think I'm very close to Central. I'm very close. Dickinson might be Mountain Time, so, but I'm very close to Central Time. I'm probably only like 50 miles from Central here, so. Yeah. See, like, some people are jerks. Like some people really are jerks, and they like purposely just leave their brights on. But then some people obviously are doing it by accident, and usually I'll just give them a little flash, and you know, usually people will turn their brights off because they're probably like, oh shoot, I didn't mean to have them on. I do the same thing. But dude, some people are flat out just jerks. I mean, you guys know. You guys know those kind of drivers. We've all had our run-ins. You know, I personally haven't had that much road rage. I personally haven't had a road rage incident maybe, but my road rage is bad. You guys who watch the streams a lot know that I have a bad case of road rage, and sometimes I get a little bit upset, but I only really get upset when people are just being like absurdly dumb. If people are just being like stupid to the point where, like, you know, it could hurt other people, then I get pretty mad, because, like, you know, we're in like 2,000-3,000 pound moving metal vehicles. Like, I mean, if someone's being stupid, like, someone could die on the road like this. So I feel like it's okay to get a little bit of road rage sometimes. Dickinson is Mountain Standard Time. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. No, there's not a tornado, guys. tornadoes out here are kind of hard to come by. You don't get them very often, especially once you get into Montana. And I explained this earlier. I'm going to explain it again. So Montana does not get as many tornadoes as Wyoming, and especially, obviously, Colorado. Colorado, out of all the higher plains states, Colorado and I guess West Texas get the most tornadoes, especially Colorado. But see, Montana doesn't get as many just because I have a couple theories why. I guess maybe they're not even theories. This is probably just why they don't get as many. The elevation is lower. So Glendive, Montana is in east central Montana. Glendive, Sidney, Montana. The elevation in that area is probably around an average of 2,500 feet. That's probably the elevation there, is about 2,500 feet. If you go south to like, there's a town in northeast Wyoming. I can't even remember that. But if you go due south to northeast Wyoming, the elevation's about 4,500 feet. And then if you go down to like Cheyenne, Wyoming, the elevation's probably around 4,000 feet. And then if you go down towards Denver, you're probably talking about 5,000 feet. So if you think about it, Glendive, Montana area and like eastern Montana is on the same, it's the same longitude, right? Eastern Montana is obviously the same longitude as Wyoming and Colorado and New Mexico, but it's about 1,000 to 2,000 feet in elevation lower. So that's my theory, is there's just not enough elevation here. And Montana is so far north that it's very far away from the Gulf of Mexico. So it's much more difficult to get moisture up into Montana, especially because you have that higher elevation to the south that kind of blocks the moisture a little bit. So you have to get it funneled up. You have to get the moisture funneled up north of like Rapid City and into South Dakota and North Dakota. You have to get it funneled up, and it does happen. You do get that moisture up here, but it just doesn't happen as frequently as like southeastern Wyoming, and of course in Wyoming and Colorado, you only need like 50 dew points, like 55 dew points. You can get it done in Colorado, but once you start getting into Montana, those 50 dew points don't work because your elevation is lower. Like the elevation in Montana is the same as like central Kansas, right? Or like central, I feel like central Kansas is like 1,500 to 2,500 feet. And then as you go on the western Kansas, you get to 3K. Like maybe Elk City, your elevation in Montana is probably the same as like Weatherford or Elk City, Oklahoma. So it's like, obviously, you don't get as many tornadoes because those areas in Oklahoma will get those 70 dew points. But in Montana, you're obviously not getting 70 dew points very often. Tomorrow might have 70 dew points up in Montana. So they could get interesting tomorrow, but we'll see. So those are the two reasons why. For whatever reason, Montana is just lower in elevation, and I don't think they have as many terrain features as Wyoming and Colorado. Like, because Colorado, you have the Denver cyclone, where you near Denver, you get those winds to kind of swirl up and then, right? But Montana doesn't have as much of that. So that's partially why. And then, of course, it's just far away from the Gulf. So, sorry, you guys got to hear me nerd out. A little bit of a nerd about the weather, but I guess if I wasn't a nerd about the weather, I wouldn't like to chase storms. So. guys have any questions that you're curious about anything, doesn't even have to be storm chasing related. Just drop them in the chat, guys. I always like to talk about random stuff. I mean, I will yap. Yapping is a term that kids use nowadays. I will yap about anything and everything. I guess I'm probably in that group of kids. I don't say yap a lot, but I work at when I'm not storm chasing, I work at a public school, and I hear the word yap. I hear the word yap like a dozen times a day at least. So that just means you like to blab. I guess that's the same thing as blabbing or whatnot. But dude, shout out to the service, the cell service. It just is rock solid here in North Dakota. Now I'm proud. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, we don't lose it, but it's rock solid here. I'm pretty shocked, honestly. I'm pretty shocked. So yeah, we had that nice storm earlier. I posted a picture of it on my Twitter, or I don't like to call it X. I know it's called X, but I think Twitter has a better ring to it, so I still call it Twitter, but I don't really care. People can call it X if they want. People can call it Twitter. It doesn't matter, but I just think Twitter has a better ring. X is kind of boring. I think X is boring, but yeah, go follow me on Twitter, guys. It's the same handle as my YouTube. Actually, I have an Instagram account. I don't post on my Instagram account as much as I probably should post on there, but I do have an Instagram account that I'll probably post a few times a month at least, at the very least. So my Instagram account is pretty similar to my. Actually, I think it's the exact same handle. You're lucky it isn't negative 60. Dude, I could not imagine living up in North Dakota in the winter time. Oh, that just sounds disgusting. So, I like the cold to an extent, okay? So, I think the cold is kind of nice to have for a couple months out of the year. It's nice. Like, I like when the weather changes. I wouldn't want to live in a place where the weather is the same all year round. I think that's boring. I think that's very boring. You know, people complain about the weather, but I'm like, I think it's exciting. Like, I feel like if you live somewhere where the weather changes, that's very exciting. But like, I don't think I could deal with the cold for 4 or 5 months like that. I just couldn't do it. I live in southern Missouri, and in southern Missouri we have a winter. It gets cold for a couple of months. It really does. Especially depending on the year. Some years are like this last winter was pretty harsh. It was a really cold winter for our standards down in Missouri. Some of them are a little bit more mild, but see, I like the cold, and I could do the cold for, you know, hey, if it's cold from Christmas time to the beginning of Christmas time to like March, the beginning of March. If it's cold for those 2.5 months, you know, hey, that's cool. But after about 2 to 3 months, I think the cold is just annoying. Like, if it's like the last week of March and it's still kind of chilly outside, it just annoys me. I feel like by March, you know, it's like, I'm like, okay, it's time. Let's get warm. Let's get warm again. But it's the same thing with heat, right? Like, I can only handle heat for so long. Okay, here we go. We got some fog here. The only thing I'm scared about in the fog is just animals. Like, I don't want to hit any animals. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're gonna slow way down here. feel like I see better without the brights, maybe. It's probably about the same. Wait, is that hail? Oh, there's hail. Oh, that's hail on the side of the road. Guys, look on the side of the road. That's hail. Okay. That's why it's foggy, because there's hail right here. Interesting. That hail looks pretty... Some of those hailstones were actually a good size. And I'm sure that stuff has been melting for a while there, and some of it's still a good size. So that's why there's fog. Okay. Textbook hail fog there on the side of the road here. So if you don't know, sometimes after you get hail fog, because the hail, if you get enough of it, it makes the ground cool, and the ground is cooler than right above the ground. So it'll, like, maybe 20 feet above the ground it's 60 degrees or whatever, but right on the ground maybe it's like 50 or something because of that hail. So that's why you get that fog after it hails. But that's so odd. I find it so odd that 1 mile stretch of road had hail and then nowhere else. Like, there's no hail over here. It's gone now. I find that very odd. Oh, look at this guy. Shout out to this guy. He saw me and he turned off his brights. That's what I want to see. There you go, man. Shout out to this guy right here. Turned the brights off when he saw me. I respect it, because I did the same thing. So I can tell they got a lot of rain up here towards the interstate here. We're about 7 miles here from 94, just near Dickinson. Well, chat, I don't know when they got hail here. It was not in the last hour and a half. They didn't get hail here in the last hour and a half. Like, this is from like hours ago. Like, this might be from the storm that went through like 2 or 3 hours ago. So the fact that hail is still on the ground is actually extremely impressive. So I wonder what it looked like right after the storm came through. I bet the road was covered. I bet it looked like there was a snowstorm with how much hail was on the ground. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. But that was pretty... Yeah, keep the brights off. I kind of figured that out, that the brights make it a little bit worse. They do. Hail fog, heck yeah. Golf ball. There might have been some golf balls in there, which means if it fell multiple hours ago, you might have had some 2 to 3 inch size hailstones up there. So look at that, guys. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock mountain time here. But just to my east, it'd be 11 o'clock and you still have sunlight. And what's crazy is, summer solstice was a month ago. So up here about a month ago. I remember chasing up here a month ago, and it was still light outside almost to like 11 o'clock. There's still light at like 11 o'clock. And up in Canada, when I went up to Canada, it was insane. Canada, up by Edmonton, like, it was light till midnight. It was ridiculous. I don't know if I'd love that or hate that. If it was kind of... The sun had gone down by that point, but there's still a glimmer of light, even at midnight. And I don't know if I'd like that or hate that, but I could imagine living up in the Arctic Circle, and then you have the 24 hours of sunlight in the summer, and then you get the 24 hours of darkness in the winter. I feel like that would just be... Like, think about how depressing. I feel like Alaska probably has a higher rate of people who are depressed and other things, probably because for a whole, portion of the year you don't have sunlight. And even if you do get a little bit of sunlight, it's only light for a few hours out of the day, right? So I bet Alaska's rough. So that hail fell over 3 hours ago. That's insane. You got hail lightning? What? Riley raid incoming? If Riley raids me, hey, I'll be pretty happy there. I mean, that'd be 4 raids. I appreciate Connor once again, Connor Croft and Freddie McKinney and John McKinney. They gave me a little bit of a boost on the stream. I appreciate that, and I know a lot of you guys that watch Connor obviously know who I am. I mean, I've chased with Connor dozens of times, and yeah, Freddie. So a lot of you guys who watch Freddie probably know who I am as well. So, but those 3 dudes are all pretty cool guys. That's why I hang around those guys. So, and John McKinney. Now, John McKinney, that's a guy who I would want to go to for advice. I feel like he's always giving me good advice. Dickinson is not in view. This is actually the town that's west of Dickinson. So we're going to get on the 94 here, and then we're going to go towards Dickinson. We're actually probably going to get some more lightning here once we start to turn east. But, guys, we're about 20 minutes from... I'm going to be live for about 20 more minutes or so, and then maybe 25 minutes. I'm going to be live for about 25 more minutes, and then we're going to shut things down. But in the meantime, for the next 20, 30 minutes, I'm just going to hang out here, so I enjoy it. I enjoy hanging out after the chases. Usually, a lot of people will go live, like, way before the chase. Like, sometimes the chase won't start till, like, for example, 5 o'clock, but you have people who will go live at 2 or 3 or whatever. I don't like to do that for a few different reasons, but I don't like to do that. But I do enjoy, like, after the fact staying on live stream. But part of the reason I don't go live super early like that is because, one, it's difficult. It's difficult to entertain people for hours at a time like that. Here's the thing: before the storm chase, I like to lock in on the storm chase. So I like to think about the storm chase, right? I like to try to, because sometimes you're really having a tough time of, like, where you want to chase, and you're trying to kind of target, right? And I feel like that if I went live hours before the stream, I feel like my mind would be on, like, entertaining the live stream instead of, like, locking in for the chase. Now, there are some days where I feel like you don't really have to, like, do a ton of forecasting, and then maybe, you know, going live, like, really early like that would be fun to do. But that's part of the reason why, and the other part of the reason why is sometimes, and this isn't every chase, but sometimes you have days where, like, the storm chasing is a little bit up in the air, right? Like, sometimes you don't know if you're gonna get storms or not until you actually get storms. So, like, I would hate to string people along for hours and hours and hours and then be like, oh, guys, like, storms aren't gonna happen. Like, that wouldn't be cool. Oh, actually in this line. That wouldn't be very cool, you know. That would be my work, because sometimes you just get a cat bust or something, right? And then but those are, like, the 2 main reasons why I don't like to go live early on. But as far as, like, strategy goes, that's a very solid strategy to get more viewers, because it's like, if you go live before everybody else, people who are wanting to tune into a stream, like, you're the only stream, right? So it does make sense. So I might have to start doing that, whether I like it or not. I might just have to start doing that a few times, but it's not the most fun thing in the world, but it definitely helps. appreciate everybody for tuning in, though. Connor does really long streams, I know. I mean, myself, I like to do long streams, but I just can't do them very... Even Connor, though. Even Connor, he doesn't do long streams like so many days in a row, just because it is mentally exhausting. Man, Connor, I respect it. I mean, it's a grind, and I respect it. Him doing the really long streams. It's something that I probably wouldn't want to do as much as he does. I don't mind doing long streams every now and again, but he does them a lot. So on snowstorms, I will do very long streams. Last year, I think we had a 20-hour. What was it? We had a 20-hour live stream. I kid you not, guys. We had a 20-hour live stream. It's actually back on my channel. Now the channel might have only saved 12 hours of it, but we literally had a live stream for 20 hours in a row on a snowstorm. So I drove around in the snow for 20 hours and then was live. Like, that is a grind right there, 20 hours straight. So this winter, I'm looking forward to doing that. So I don't know how much snow I'm going to chase before Christmas time, because I'm going to have class. I'm going to have in-person classes at my college to go to. This last winter and spring, I was all online, but this next semester I'm going to be doing some in-person stuff, so I'm not going to be able to chase snow all the time, but hopefully January, February, March, I plan on being able to do those snow chases. And I think that this year we should do a 24-hour snow chase. I think that's something we should do. I think we should run a 24-hour one. I think that'd be fun to do. Guys, yeah, I'm headed towards Dickinson. Focus on your education. Hey, I'm almost done, guys. I only have about, let's see, you need about what, 120 credit hours for a bachelor's degree. I think I'm sitting at like 90. I'm around 95. I'm close to 100. So I really have probably about I probably have about 2 more semesters of college, and then I'm done. I have about 2 more semesters, and then I'm done. Now, I probably won't get that done in 2 semesters, because I want to keep trying to storm chase and keep trying to do the live streaming thing. I think I might spread it out over 3 semesters, but I should be done. But that means I get to do, let's see, then that's not as bad because your workload's a little bit lighter. But I think that within 3 semesters I'll be finished. But I'm getting close. I'm almost. If I really wanted to finish it, I could finish it in 2 semesters, but I'm gonna spread it out a little bit. So, and here's why. So I'm getting my degree. I'm getting a teaching degree, okay? So I'm getting an education degree so I can go teach. And before you get your degree, you have to do student teaching, right? And I really don't want to do my student teaching during peak storm season. So I don't want to do my student teaching during March, April, and May. I'd rather do my student teaching September, October, November, December, right? I'd rather do my student teaching in the fall semester, not the spring semester. So that's why I'm going to drag it out so I can do my student teaching next fall, even if I really could get it done in the spring probably. So I'm just, that's why I wouldn't do it. So if I never end up being able to do the full-time storm chasing, then I will be a teacher. Which, if I'm a teacher, guess what? That means I get to storm chase all of June, July, and August because it's summer break. You know, unless you're, I'd probably opt out on teaching summer school and stuff like that, so then I could go chase storms. So really, I won't get, I mean, obviously I wouldn't get to chase as much. I wouldn't get to chase everything, but I'd get a lot of June, July, August, you get a lot of chasing in during those months. And even the second half of May, depending on where you go to school. Some schools get out like May 20th or May 15th. So you got that whole second half of May to storm chase too. So, what great guys! I want to teach geography, social studies, history, government, stuff like that. So I'd start out teaching middle school because I'm 21 years old. So I don't think it would be a good idea to teach a high school class at like 22, 23 years old. That's probably not the best. So I would start out with I'd start out teaching middle school, and then maybe when I get a little bit older, I'd move to high. So maybe by the time I'm close to like 30 or something, maybe I'd want to teach high school. I think eventually I'd rather teach high school than middle school, but I think I'd at least start out doing middle school for a while and then eventually move up to high school. But yeah, it'd be tough to teach a high school class fresh out of college. Even if you're a good teacher, the problem with that is like those kids are closer in age to you. So it's now a freshman class, like freshman or sophomore, it'd be a little maybe, because those are 14, 15-year-old kids. So you at least have 7 or 8 years on them. But like imagine trying to teach a class of juniors and seniors and you're only like 5 years older than them. Like at that point, like you're basically almost, some people will be like 22 years old and they'll look like they're in high school, right? So like imagine being a junior in high school and your teacher like only looks like a couple of years older than you. That's just a weird dynamic. So, and I feel like if I was a high school student and I had a teacher who was like in their early to mid 20s, I feel like I wouldn't respect that teacher as much as someone who's a little older. So I feel like that respect has, that's obviously, you respect authority and you respect your elders. Well, if your teacher's only your elder by a few years, it's kind of hard to respect them as much. So yeah, I probably wouldn't do high school off the bat. I'd want to do middle school, and who knows, maybe I'd really like doing middle school, and then you just want to stay there. But I will say, I do think my number one passion is chasing storms. So if I can make that work, then that's what I really want to do. But I think that being a teacher and then chasing storms on the side, I feel like that's a pretty solid gig. So yeah, you need the seniority. Dude, this guy's gonna get banned, buddy. You're done. Go to timeout. You're done, buddy. I'm sick. Hey, Lint, I'm sick of you, bro. I'm sick of Lint because I'm sick of Lint. He's been in the chat talking trash for like 2 hours now. He's calling me a wuss for like not. I'm like, sorry that I don't want to blow my windshield out, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to pay $800 to replace my windshield tomorrow and get it all smashed. But dude, he's been talking major trash, so he's gonna get banned for 24 hours. Goodbye, buddy. You're gone. I don't really ban people that much, but I had a couple people in the chat telling me to ban them, so I was like, okay, I might as well ban people. So I got pretty thick skin. I don't block people. People on social media can say whatever the heck they want to me, and I don't block them. I don't ban people. I just don't do it. So, because I just if I don't like what someone's saying, I kind of just ignore it. I don't really care. I'm like, at that point, they're just giving me more. You know, if someone's in the chat talking trash, they're just giving me more engagement. Like, they're literally just making my stream get into the algorithm by getting the chat rate up. So it's like, you know, if I had a mod, dude, I did have a mod. Okay, some of you guys, I'm gonna make mods, okay? Because yeah, I don't have a mod. Well, I usually do have mods, but I don't know. Like, I had like 4 mods. I don't know where they went. I gotta get some people, more people as a mod. So, I'm gonna work on that, guys. So, if I constantly see you in chat and you're constantly active on my stream, don't be surprised if I randomly make you a mod. If I don't make you a mod, I don't hate you. But whoever I see in my stream the most, I'm probably gonna make a mod. But if I make you a moderator, I don't want you to go on a power trip, because then I'm gonna take it away. For the most part, as long as people can talk about whatever they want in my chat, I really don't care. Like, there's a couple topics that I wouldn't talk about on a stream, but if someone was talking about it in my chat, I actually wouldn't care that much. Like, I would never talk about politics on my stream, but if someone was in my chat talking about politics, I would let it slide if it wasn't too annoying. Like, now if someone was just getting very annoying, then I would be like, okay, ban, like, it's time to ban this guy, you know, and you're right, but, or like, obviously if someone's talking about something inappropriate or illegal, like if someone just starts talking about like drugs or something, or just other worse things, or, you know, I do like to also keep I like to keep the channel family friendly as well. So I don't like to hear cursing. I don't like to hear cursing in the chat. So if anyone says cuss words, you're gonna get banned for a few minutes at least. Now, I'm not too big on cussing, guys. I feel like there's better ways, but I like to keep things family friendly. One, I feel like it's a more positive vibe to have. I feel like I never cuss on here, because I know that kids watch the stream, and here's how I would say. I would say, if for me, if I'm not gonna say it in front of my grandma, I shouldn't say it. That's how I always think of it, right? If I'm not gonna say it in front of grandma, then don't. I had a teacher tell me that. I had my sixth grade English teacher. She would always say, "Hey, if you're not gonna say it to grandma, don't say it at all." And I still remember it. I still remember that. So I'm in Dickinson now. So I'm gonna pull into a gas station up here, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut things down. So I'm still gonna be live for a few more minutes, but because it'll take me a second to shut stuff down. But I had fun today. Like, I had fun with you guys on the stream. We saw some cool storms, for sure. Can I turn right here? Yeah. We saw some cool storms. Now, they weren't cool for that long, but hey, they were cool at least, so I'll give them that. But so now it's a waiting game here. So I'm probably gonna do some car camping here. I'm gonna get some car sleep. I'm not really that tired. I'm actually not even tired, so I might chill in the car for a while and just unwind, but I do have melatonin. Here's what I need, guys. When I car camp, as long as the temperature isn't too hot and I have some melatonin, it's great sleep. So it's great sleep. So the temperature outside is 65 degrees, and it's a little bit moist, so it's going to get a little bit humid in here, but it shouldn't be too bad. I hope it's not too bad. It might actually be a little bit moist in here, but oh, there's the big liquor sign. I'm just over here talking about being family friendly, and then I have liquor just right on the stream, right there. But here we go. Let me get my computer out here, and then we'll sign off here once I get onto my YouTube and the stream. But I'm gonna answer some questions. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna answer some questions here. Last minute here. If I'm gonna look at chat, see what you guys are saying in here. What's up, Olivia? Aaron, how's it going? Lisa, what's up? K-Jack, how's it going? Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, if someone says something random about politics, like, I don't care. But, like, if they keep spamming something about politics, then I'm like, all right. Like, let's focus on something else. Because, I mean, it's not good optics either. Like, you know, the best optics for anything is just no politics, because then everybody will like you. If you start getting into politics, then you're really alienating a lot of people one way or the other. And that's especially true in, let's be honest, our country is pretty polarized. So yeah, politics are a no for me. I don't do that. Anything other than politics I'll probably talk about, though, as long as it's not something that YouTube would ban, because I'm not trying to get a strike. But most other things outside of politics, I will talk. You guys could ask me a question about you could ask me a question about, like, food, just anything, and I would probably answer it. But Thomas says, Ben, I started watching when you took Garrett from Stormrunner Media out on a chase, and you've been subscribed since. I appreciate that, man. What? Okay, hold on. One more. Barney said, what got me into storm chasing? Well, what got me into storm chasing was I got interested in weather because my hometown, Joplin, Missouri, got hit by an EF5 tornado. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Joplin tornado. So that's my hometown. Got hit by a tornado. And so that got me interested in the weather. And then I just decided I really liked tornadoes and I thought they were cool. So one day I went on a storm chase, literally 20 minutes away from my house, saw like 2 EF3 tornadoes, and ever since then I've been absolutely hooked. So no politics, no cussing. There we go. Sports and weather and beer are perfect topics. I'm not a big drinker, but hey, if you like to, if you don't like to, I respect it either way. But no, I personally stay away from alcohol for the most part. Favorite food? Oh man, probably a good burger. I know. I mean, that I feel like a good burger is just very respectable, and it's not hard to, like, you can't mess up a burger. Like, I feel like if you're at least half decent at cooking, you can make a very good burger. You can't mess it up. I'd say a burger, or probably like a good like New York strip or something. A bison burger. I love a good bison burger. Riley, give me some big props. Well, hey, tell Riley I give big props to Riley. I like Riley. He's a nice guy. I actually had an issue where my YouTube channel would randomly go live, and it was absolutely killing my YouTube channel and my algorithm and my momentum. And Riley actually walked me through how to fix that issue. So big shout out to Riley, and once again shout out to Connor, Croft, and the McKinneys too. I'm sure all of you guys are probably subbed to those dudes, but if you're for some reason not, then what are you doing? Go go subscribe to them. I mean, if you're not subbed to them, you're wrong. If you're not subbed to me, you're also wrong. So elk is the best red meat. Okay, I've actually never had elk meat. I've had venison, I've had deer, but I've never had elk. So you drove through Joplin and ate at Bob Evans. I've never been to Bob Evans, actually. It's literally probably 10 minutes from my house. I've never been there. So yeah, wise to stay away from alcohol. Yeah, I probably would say it's probably a smarter thing to stay away from alcohol than not. So it's a good idea. But yeah, you guys are making me hungry now. You guys are making me hungry. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. There's not anything else for me to chase. And I don't know where the heck I'm going to be tomorrow, but how about this? I'll make a community post. I'll make a community post tomorrow. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah. Nice lady, just making sure I'm okay. Heck yeah. I like to see that out here in the world. People are just very nice, but she was looking at me weird, and I was like, maybe she thinks I'm like in danger. But guys, I'll make a community post or something tomorrow, and I'll probably say like, hey, I'm chasing here, and I'll schedule a stream. If I don't make a community post, then whatever stream I schedule will obviously say where I'm chasing. So dude, there's like 4 different targets that could be a chase worthy tomorrow, so we're gonna have to decide that in the morning. North Dakota, nice, yeah. All right, guys. Hey, it's getting late here, so good night to everybody. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, do that. If you have not liked the stream, then do that. And I will see you guys on the next chase. I hope everybody has a great week. I know it's Monday tomorrow, so I know that's rough. It's Monday, so I hope everybody has a great start to their week, and I will see you guys